Howdy, yokes, and welcome back to Bacon and Eggs. I'm Tyler Carlin.
And I'm Ethan Edgehill.
And we're the downtown trash. You better watch out or we're gonna eat all of your trash.
Sounds like an Alex Jones quip.
Alex Jones?
Yeah, the InfoWars
Like the
guy.
conspiracy
the
guy?
Turn the friggin'
I was
frogs gay thing.
Yeah,
Not
I
the
was
voice
thinking-
you did, but just the like. Maybe
We're
it's
the
that.
trash!
Maybe it's that that like TikTok sound that's like, I'm a man, I'm a Canadian, I'm an American, I'm like a raccoon in the garage. And it's just different Alex Jonesisms.
We took Olivia for a walk today, and she, like, on the walk there was these kids playing on a playground, and she went and played with them, and that's what the kids were saying was, we're actually the downtown trash. We're gonna eat all your trash.
We're gonna eat all of your trash. Please do, listeners.
Yeah.
Listeners of Bacon and Eggs, no longer Movie Lovers podcast. If you know somebody, if you or a loved one knows somebody that can sustain their own human life by eating trash, please, for the love of God, send them the direction of some municipality so that they may be bred.
Send them to my garage. Are you kidding?
No. Harvest their genes so that we make new humans that can subsist on trash. You just solved all of the problems of the world.
Yeah, well, except for, like, the climate problems and
No,
all the
Tyler,
other
if
stuff.
you eat all the trash,
Actually,
the crime problems will get better.
This episode of this podcast is in seeking solving one of the problems of the world. I'm very excited to talk about my topic today.
You sound like you went a different direction than I did.
Well, maybe. I told you what I was going to talk about.
Yeah, I guess I could connect those two things now, but that was like not the thing you had me confused.
I do think this camera angle the listener can't see this, but for you, Ethan, I do think I kind of look like a gopher.
Like a gopher?
Like I feel like my front two teeth are kind of how they described Hermione's teeth until Emma Watson was cast.
What is a gopher? Is it the same thing as a groundhog or a woodchuck? Is that just like a different word?
I think it is more similar than like a mountain lion is to like a African lion.
Those are both cats. Those are both large felines. I think they share a genus.
I think they share more than a genus.
No, the only thing below that is species. And they do not share a species.
Then I think they share a genus. A genus.
What was I Googling? What nonsense did you say?
I was about to say something really... I was going to say that African lions and mountain lions can't be the same genus because they're from different continents. But that's not right because humans are from every continent.
Also, like wolves, you know.
Birds.
What is a gopher? A gopher. I can't type.
I think it's the University of Minnesota's mascot.
Dog, that is a woodchuck.
It is a golden gopher.
Like, I don't know how to tell you this, but like, you know the meme of like the woodchuck, like the groundhog that like looks like you just surprised it?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay,
no.
well, that just came up under what is a gopher.
You know what? This is one that always trips me up. Woodchuck, because the song talks about how a woodchuck could not chuck wood. I always think a woodchuck is a wood thrush, which is a bird.
Yeah, no, it's the opposite of that. It's like a ground-dwelling mammal.
Right. But in my mind, I picture a wood thrush.
Okay, despite their similarities, gophers and... Sorry, let me get I'm reading shit from Wikipedia voice going. Despite their similarities, gophers and groundhogs belong to two completely different classes of rodents. Gophers are much smaller than groundhogs, weighing about 2 to 12 pounds, respectively.
2 to 12 pounds?
2 to 12 pounds is a pretty big range for this rodentia.
2 to 12? 2 to 12? Imagine if you were like adult men range in size from 150 to 1,500 pounds.
Adult men can grow from being 1 foot tall to 9 feet tall.
2 to 12? That's actually kind of like, it reminds me of starters in the WNBA. They can be, there's a starter right now in Washington who is 5'6".
Gophers live. Aha! This is a map. I've got a map here.
Where do gophers live?
All over the place. But
2 to 12?
I have a map here. Apparently, they are more akin to moles and voles.
You're frozen.
And you're much more likely to have gophers in the west.
Let's take a picture of you being frozen. Oh, man.
the United States. So what we have here are groundhogs, which are different not different from woodchucks. Woodchucks and groundhogs are the same animal. Gophers and groundhogs are different animals. However, we have groundhogs here, and they have gophers there. And I don't really care about moles or voles because I would not mix those up with groundhogs. I think
Voles
What
are
does
like
vole
a
look
12-pound vole would be like a.
Oh look! Oh my god! Have you seen this thing?
No, I don't see anything.
No! What? No, I'm Google what a vole looks like, dipshit.
Oh, I know what a vole looks like.
I
They're
said,
like
have
little
you
tiny
seen this?
thing.
I said, have you seen this thing? Not do you see this thing? It's so cute. It's like a chinchilla, but groundhog colored.
Yeah, they're like yeah. Oh yeah, these things are awesome.
Yeah, it's
If
like
you found a 12-pound vole,
you know how you have like you have like white rice and then like long grain wild rice that they sell like Old Ben. This is long grain wild mouse.
I think that's rat actually.
No. That's basmati mouse. That's the long kind of skinny ones, right?
I think so. I don't know. Extra
If
long
I was
jasmine.
right, that joke was hilarious for what it's worth.
Moles have like claws. Voles are like cute little guys.
They're just little guys.
Yeah, they're just like if you had a vole problem, you'd be
Bigger
like,
voles. I mean, voles are a problem. They're a huge, like, pest rodent. Vole size. So we're like
I
chipmunks.
think if you had-
Chipmunks are adorable, and they're 4 to 6 inches. That's a much more reasonable range.
yeah, that's like a grown man.
Yeah.
That was a funny haha.
like 5 to 7 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, like 4 to 6 inches.
Yeah. How big is a vole compared to a mouse? This is great tangent work I'm doing right here. I'm just learning all about voles. Tyler's trying to tell me a story about the Wabena, and I'm
The rodentia of the world.
No.
The WNBA is not the rodentia.
holy shit. That's not what you meant. That was just bad timing on the Zoom call.
You were talking about the rodentia.
Yes.
I'm talking about the WNBA.
It was bad timing on the Zoom call.
I want to know your story first, though.
Nope, that's not how this works.
I get to share my story first.
Yeah, I mean, you always go first.
So my story is going to be. I couldn't. Why do we watch sports, Ethan?
I mean, do you want the actual answer?
I think so. Yeah.
Because it's a thing that like unifies people. It makes you feel
No.
connected. No, that is 100% it. It makes you
That
feel
is why. That is why people watch sports. Why do individuals watch sports? Why do we?
because they want to feel like they're part of something.
You're close. We watch sports for the stories.
Yeah.
We care about Joe Burrow because he's cool.
Yeah, I mean, he has a cool story.
He's a cool guy.
He's a cool guy. Joe Shiesty.
Joe Shiesty. We care about Tom Brady because what was the? Oh man, what's that line from that thing? Why do we love professional athletes?
What?
Because they bang supermodels.
What are you talking about?
No, there's a movie I think, right?
I don't
Where
know.
The question is posed. Why do people love supermodels? And the guy responds and he's like, because they bang supermodels. Or why do people love athletes? Because they bang supermodels. And they're like, no. Why do kids love athletes? And the answer is because athletes are heroes.
Yeah.
And what makes a hero is having a story to tell, is overcoming adversity. So we are in a golden era. So basically, my portion of this episode is going to be catching you up and preparing you for the WNBA season coming off of March Madness and the WNBA draft.
Okay.
Okay? So I've got to pull up a few things.
I didn't realize you
but-
needed input. I thought you were just going to talk.
No, I mean, this is always input. I'm always looking for...
No,
for-
I just didn't realize you were looking for it
feedback.
right that second.
So the first incredible thing in the world of women's basketball is in 2019, a group chat of 5 girls, like a group chat, like girls who knew each other, had a conversation, and they all decided that they wanted to go to the same college and play for the same coach, and they were going to stay there for all 4 years. And those 5 girls called themselves the Freshies, and they all went and got scholarships to the University of South Carolina and played for Dawn Staley for 4 years. They were the best team in the league the COVID year, but there was no tournament, so they didn't get to do anything that year. And then they led the team to 3 consecutive Final Four appearances in 2021, 22, and 23. They won, I believe, in 22, and they lost in 23 in the Final Four stage to Iowa. And I don't know what happened in 2021. I think they didn't win. But these 5 girls, which is how many people play on a basketball team, all are incredibly good. The University of South Carolina had other players during that time, but it was really all about these 5 girls. And the leader of that group was a girl named Aaliyah Boston, who is from the United States Virgin Islands. And when she was 9 years old, she picked up a basketball for the first time. And when she was 12 years old, a girl named Aaliyah Boston from the Virgin Islands moves to Worcester, Mass.
All right.
To play at the Worcester Academy, where... A reference, if you've been listening to this show since we started this format, she went on to be a McDonald's basketball player, which if you are like not a follower of high school basketball, which I am not, I've learned this very recently, that is like the highest honor that you can achieve is playing and being like honored at the McDonald's players tournament, whatever it's called.
Yeah, they do like the college slam dunk championship and all that stuff.
McDonald's does a lot for basketball.
Yeah. College basketball specifically.
Yeah. So she was a 3-time McDonald's player.
Damn.
We talked about.
All right.
I'm sorry. No, 1-time McDonald's.
Okay.
3-time Gatorade Player of the Year in Massachusetts. And Massachusetts is a big state for basketball. Celtics have obviously always been huge. And they've got the Worcester Academy, which is like, if you've ever read anything about the Worcester Academy, which I'd never heard of, it is like a prep school that has like 400 students, and you've heard of all of them. Like, well, you've heard of at least 400 people that have gone there. Like, it is just a school that turns out greatness. And if
this
you
is
have
a high school,
it's a prep school.
Okay, but just like just not to throw you off your tangent. Is this like you're talking about greatness like in basketball or greatness like all over?
Greatness all over.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
they
not like
churn out.
not like where LeBron went.
No, I don't know where LeBron went.
St. Vincent St. Mary's in Ohio.
Oh, I do know that.
Yeah,
Now
come
that
on,
you
man.
say
You
that,
gotta,
that's
if
like
you're gonna
I know
play
that.
this song all the time, you got to watch the movie. But that's like that's like a basketball like school. Like that's their
From what
job.
I can tell, this place churns out a lot of incredible athletes, but generally just like incredible people in general. But it's kind of cool if you live in the Massachusetts area and you're like, man, I'd love for my child to go to a boarding school. Don't wish that upon your child. That sounds hard. Parents are important to childhood development. So if you can't be there for every game, don't send them. They take 65% of applicants, which I thought was really interesting.
Because 60, because of that 65%, who can afford it?
Right.
Like you're
exactly.
only applying if you know that you stand a shot of actually like
Getting in.
figuring it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So she goes off to USC public schools, works under Dawn Staley, who's this legendary women's basketball coach. And of the 5 freshies, which is what they called themselves all 4 years, and if you followed the tournament this year, they were kind of the antithesis to Virginia Tech's sort of all-star 5-player team, where then you had LSU and Iowa both had like all-star, like singular players who both have another year of eligibility, but were like in themselves kind of like the story. Of those 5 girls, 4 of them were drafted in the WNBA draft. The 5th elected to just leave the sport, and she graduated, and she's going to go off and do her own thing. She also, like, if you look at the stats for the 5 of them, she was definitely the one, like, even though she was a starter, the rest of them had like 2,000 minutes of college playtime. She had like 200. So clearly they were like putting her in and like, you're part of this and it's the narrative, but you can come out. And I'm sure she's way better at basketball than I am.
Oh, definitely. That's the thing about women's basketball players is they have to be able to shoot.
They have to be able to shoot so well.
Like they talk about like a 5-tool. I guess it's baseball. They talk about a 5-tool player, but like when you are through no fault of your own, somebody assigned female at birth that is 5'6",
you got to be able to shoot that ball.
It's very hard to dunk a basketball. It's not impossible.
I
but
would
it is
say
very, very hard for you to dunk a basketball. Dunking a basketball is less about skill. I mean, it's definitely about skill, but it's more about being tall enough to dunk a basketball.
Yes. How many players are drafted to the National Football League every year?
Drafted. God, what is it? 251.
Yeah. How many players do you think?
That's Mr. Irrelevant. Did I get that right?
Yeah, it's 32 times 7, whatever that is.
No, because there's compensatory picks in there and all this crap.
Whatever. I'm thinking 256.
It was. Oh, okay, so it's not the same number every year.
No.
It was 259. It'll be 259 this year. Brock Purdy was 262.
Okay, so roughly 250 plus. South Carolina had 5 players drafted this year, 4 that were in the freshies group, and then 1 who I think finished a graduate year.
Of what?
How
Like
many
24?
How many players do you think are drafted? 24?
I'm gonna assume they do 2 rounds like NBA.
They do 3 rounds of 12.
3 rounds of 12. Okay, so 36.
36 players.
The NBA, I'm pretty sure the NBA only does 2. rounds.
The NBA is a G League, though. You can, like, still go.
I mean, by that logic, they should draft more players.
I guess, yeah. That's stupid. The NBA has 2 rounds. I don't know anything about the NBA draft, but I watched the WNBA draft.
The NBA draft is exhausting because it's just like, here's a guy that played 4 games in college, but we think he's going to be the next,
He's definitely going to be the next LeBron James.
Fucking Kyrie Irving.
Right. His high school years. This guy right here, this is Bronny James. He's going to be the next LeBron James.
NBA
And I'll tell you one
drafted
thing.
58 players last year in 2 rounds.
Okay, so 30 teams, roughly 2 picks each.
Yeah.
I think the WNBA, if I'm not mistaken, is 10 teams, 10 or 12.
But the number I pulled off the top of my head was 12, which is why I said 24. Figured everybody
Yeah.
gets 2 picks.
I think the league is growing, so they're trying to funnel more folks into it.
Definitely, yeah. Draft more people for sure. Like,
Yes, and there's a lot of hype going into it this year. I know because I care, and I have no idea why I would care, how I ended up here. Other than watching the women's tournament, which was fantastic. And there's a very careful line. I've said this a few times. I don't know if I've said it on this podcast. There's a very careful line you have to cross when you're talking about the advancement of women's basketball, because something happened in the men's game that I think is part of the reason that women's basketball is getting so popular. And it was 3-point shooters getting the attention that, like, it no longer became about the coolest dunk, and it became about how many points can you score.
yeah, it was Steph Curry and Klay Thompson.
Right. It's exactly what happened. And now, I mean, that's what the league is. Every team has a stud shooting guard for the most part. It's not as interesting to play the paint as it was, which is very good for women's sports because for the most part, and I won't say unequivocally, but for the most part, there's not much dunking in women's basketball. But there are a lot of threes. Caitlin Clark hit a 35-footer in the middle of the finals.
That's
for
a
no
lot.
reason.
That's a lot.
For no reason. She
don't-
just did it. She dribbled down the court and was like, I'll just shoot it from here. And it went in. Like middle of the second quarter.
Jeez.
And Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are returning to Iowa and LSU respectively. So that's going to be a fun rivalry to watch again next year. But going into the season, I didn't know this when the WNBA season was. It starts in May, goes through like August. There are 2 super teams in New York and Las Vegas. The Indiana Fever have 4 University of South Carolina players on a 12-man roster.
Like they drafted 4 of the freshies?
No, they drafted one of the freshies and then the other girl who was not one of the freshies. And then they already had 2.
Okay.
Aaliyah Boston. There's a really great sort of mini documentary on her life where it goes back to her family on the U.S. Virgin Islands and her dad teaching her how to shoot. And her dad not being like a basketball prodigy, just like essentially going through the like Steph Curry masterclass and being like, this is how you shoot. This is how you get better at basketball. And it shows like the court that she learned how to play on, and is really, really interesting stuff. She has gone to the Indiana Fever, and they're going to be they're supposed to be on a rebuilding year, but from what it looks like, if the college basketball players with the COVID year and all the bonus time that they've had, if they're as good as they could be, and they might be, then the Indiana Fever could go from being like a first round pick team to like a powerhouse this year. But you want to be watching for Las Vegas and you want to be watching for New York. And then the other big storyline in the WNBA is Brittany Griner went and served time in a Russian prison.
Yep.
And she is now back in the United States and playing. And if you don't know who Brittany Griner is in the sport, because I did not, it probably felt like the story
She can
was
dunk
like,
a fucking basketball.
she is extreme. Like, I don't think you understand. If you're a sports fan at all, Brittany Griner has the same accolades in the WNBA as like Joe Burrow has in the NFL. Probably more like Patrick Mahomes at this stage.
Yeah.
Like a 2-time NBA All-Star, WNBA All-Star. She's been to the playoffs, I think 8 times. Like she's extremely
The real
good.
deal. Yeah.
It is a huge deal that this person, like if Tyreek Hill was in that prison,
Yeah.
if Tyreek Hill was sneaking a little bit of weed on a plane, which is a very Tyreek Hill activity,
Oh, they couldn't take the NFL to Russia, man.
Chris
They couldn't
Kyle
take-
would have been resurrected. Like,
They couldn't take the NFL to Russia, man. Like,
absolutely not. But like that's the level of athlete that we're talking
Yeah.
about here.
No, I did not need to be told who Brittany Griner was when she got arrested.
I did.
Yeah.
I needed to learn it like a week ago. Because I remember hearing the story and being like, I thought she was a college player. I didn't even realize that she was in the league or the association.
Yeah. No, I like when she got arrested, I legitimately was like, oh, that's the woman that can dunk a fucking basketball.
Yeah.
She's a monster, man. Like,
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, as entertaining as the three ball is, like when you see, there's nothing better than a good female power forward.
Yeah.
Who like can just do the thing.
Well, and that's the thing about women's basketball that men's basketball doesn't have is it's still in an early enough stage in like men's basketball. We're at the point where it's all genetic modification at this stage, right? Like you have to breed the next great basketball player.
You're trying to find the perfect basketball player.
Right. You don't have that in the WNBA.
The
You
100
can,
best
like,
WNBA
Shaq-
players have not played yet. Like,
Right, Shaq can still exist in the WNBA.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like some girl who shows up who's 7 feet tall and jacked as all get out can change the game completely in a single season.
watch out, little fella.
And-
I'll break your arm.
And women are more like their size is significantly more dynamic than men's players. Like Shaq was such a big deal because he was kind of like a bigger dude.
Him and Yao Ming were the anomalies. Like,
Right. But like women's teams, there are really, really short girls, there are really tall girls, and there are really like broad girls. Where in the NBA, like everybody's a certain level of broad.
they're pretty much just variations on the same 5 dudes.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Exactly. Every team has their 5 positions and everybody fits those positions.
Every
but
year,
if you
it's
start
like, these are the 3 people in the NBA under 6 foot tall.
right, that like every team. Anyway, the WNBA season is going to be really interesting. The Phoenix Suns have not Suns.
No,
Mercury.
that's
Phoenix
the
Mercury.
men's team.
Phoenix Mercury have Brittany Griner and some other player I haven't heard of. And my goal going into it is I always naturally gravitate towards Washington sports teams, but I'm going to watch as many games as I can and figure out what teams I like. I really like Aaliyah Boston. I didn't know what she looked like. I just kept hearing her name. She is 6'6" and she has long neon purple braids.
Where did she end up?
Indiana Fever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
and she
not
will
sure if you
likely
ever
be
actually said that.
Oh, they are the team that has 3 or 4.
4, yeah.
South
You just
Carolina.
didn't say who they were.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Indiana Fever.
Okay, cool.
I didn't particularly care for South Carolina during the tournament because I was more interested in Iowa and LSU, and I got what I wanted in the final. But Virginia
I
Tech
wanted
also
Virginia
sent-
Tech to win, for sure.
I wanted Virginia
Like,
Tech to win because I'm from here, and I'm always cheering for Virginia Tech. But I thought the more interesting stories were Iowa and LSU.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like there was much to grasp onto at Virginia Tech.
Did you see sadly, CNU lost the women's basketball tournament, but it was crazy. It was the first loss for either team.
That's nuts.
Yeah, like both teams were like 30-30 going into it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we got 5 points away from a full sweep.
Yeah.
Which would have been
Who
cool.
won the men's tournament?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Won the men's tournament by 3, lost the women's tournament by 5. To Transylvania University. I fucking hate Division III sports. God. Sound like a real place. Like, for God's sake.
I mean, ours was named after a dude that almost definitely sold slaves or something.
We were
so.
a public school. Like, was it just a dude's name? Like, granted, I mean, I think we're one of the few, maybe not a few. There's not that many, like, white dudes name university that aren't like, this is a 400-person Christian college in Pennsylvania. This is Oral Roberts University.
Where did we try to Armstrong Atlantic State?
Armstrong Atlantic
University?
State University.
That was an embarrassing day in my life.
Yep. The day we forgot the tent. We couldn't find fraternity brothers. We got we couldn't find firewood either. So we
It's a
lit a
bad
box
day.
of starter logs on fire to cook some hot dogs. And then slept in
You heard, listener, you heard the whole story. That's every detail.
and then slept in your car because there were 1,000 raccoons at the campsite.
Yes. We did I got a cell phone like 3 days before that.
A smartphone.
A smartphone, my first smartphone. So I spent the whole drive down to Disney Snapchatting Megan Clark.
That was a particularly exhausting time period in your life. Tyler, who was the last person in the world to get a smartphone, acting like he had big nuts because he had an iPhone.
It's an iPhone 5, I think.
Yeah, 5, not S.
Yeah.
You did not have Siri on that.
Oh my God. I can't imagine life without Siri now. I use Siri and Alexa for everything.
So I have the opposite story for you.
Is yours like why the guys at Brittany Griner's prison deserve? Like,
No.
How is it the opposite
Not
story?
the opposite. It's about a basketball player that very much did not go to prep school and have, their way paved for them.
I don't think Aaliyah Boston had her way paved for her. I mean, she grew up in like a pretty rough part of the Virgin Islands. It seemed like.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, but like so did LeBron James. Well, it was a rough part of Akron, Ohio, but
Right.
he still got to go to one of the top like prep basketball. This guy didn't go to a prep school, is what I'm saying.
Who was it?
So
Are you about to tell me about Stephen Marbury?
it's Stephon Marbury, and
Is
no,
that who you're telling
no,
me about?
It's not.
Oh my
It's
God.
not. Yeah, I'd already picked my person by the time. I want to talk to you about Mac McClung.
Ooh, I don't know who Mac McClung is. I feel like I should.
So
But I'm going to come into this as green as I can because I don't know who Mac McClung is.
Tyler, if you drive about 2.5 hours southwest of where we're sitting right now and get off the interstate onto US 58 and then keep going a little bit south and a little bit west, you will pass a sign on the side of the road that says, "Welcome to Gate City, Virginia." Okay?
No, I think you end up directly in a coal mine.
There are plenty of those there.
So this is a fun fact. Gate City refers to those shitty gates on the front of elevators that go down coal mining shafts.
It doesn't.
It definitely does.
It definitely doesn't. It was at one point considered the gateway to the west.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the gateway to the west side of the coal mine. This is our high school, Gate City High School. Our mascot's a fucking canary.
Nope, they're the Blue Devils.
That was a good one though.
It
that
was
a good pull.
Good people die in coal mines joke.
Yeah.
So you will pass a sign on US 58. It says, "Welcome to Gate City, Virginia," and it will tell you on that sign about the presence of the Knights of Columbus in town, about the presence of the Masons in town, about the presence of a Rotary Club in town, and about the 2018 Single A Men's State Basketball Champion.
Ooh.
Mac McClung was born in Gate City, Virginia in 1999. And this kid was known for being so competitive at everything he did. Like they couldn't even let him make cereal because he wanted to like fix a bowl of cereal faster than anybody else in his household, right? Mm-hmm. Decides he wants to play football when he grows up. And his dad's like, "Well, if you get a football scholarship, they will take you to college. And people don't go to college around here. So
They go to the coal mine.
They go to the coal mine and they die." So this father built his son like a gym in the basement of his house so he could work out extra. And apparently in 8th grade, Mac McClung broke his arm snowboarding, okay?
Hell yeah.
Broke his arm snowboarding, had to take a year off football, decides, "I'm going to rehab this arm that I broke by going and playing basketball." Never looked back, ever.
Discovered the hidden talent.
Discovered the hidden talent. Didn't play on the varsity team until his junior year of college, or junior year of high school, right? As a junior, on February 24th, 2017, he scored a career-high 64 points
Good lord.
in a loss to Dan River High School in the Virginia Single A Regional Tournament. It was the
Oh my
best,
God.
the best scoring performance in school history, and it broke Allen Iverson's single-game VHSL record.
No way.
This man was 6'2" by this point, playing, I don't know, whatever position they could get him at.
Playing get him the ball, he can shoot.
So after this game, Rutgers sends him a contract and is like, "Hey, we want you to come play basketball for Rutgers." They'd never been to one of his games, right? And he's like, "Yeah, I mean, it's the only offer I got. I guess I'll go play basketball at Rutgers." This is after his junior year, right? Senior year, breaks the all-time VHL scoring record, breaks the like single game record, breaks the career points record, like everything over and over again. Beat JJ Redick's state championship performance. Scored the most points ever.
I've heard JJ talk about this.
Yeah.
He said he was like proud.
Yeah. Scored the most points ever.
Yeah.
And this dude did it by dunking the fucking basketball. 6'2". He was just a dunk monster.
No way.
Okay. First game of his freshman year or senior year of high school. Georgetown Hoyas coach, former NBA legend Patrick Ewing, shows up at this kid's game and it's like, "Hey, I want you to come play basketball at Georgetown." His high school coach is telling him, "You're going to go to Georgetown. You're going to sit for 3 years. Is that really what you want to do? You're not a first round talent. You're not a one and done talent. Go to Rutgers." Guess what he doesn't do? He does not go to Rutgers, right?
No?
No, does not go to Rutgers.
I'll tell you one thing. When it comes to Georgetown and Rutgers, let me pause you right here. I would cheer for Rutgers every single time.
Yeah?
Rutgers has a sort of like, hey, do you want to be a fan of Notre Dame, but you don't want to be associated with all that Catholic stuff? Cheer for Rutgers. That's what I think of when I think of Rutgers. Hey, do you want an underdogs team? Do you want an underdogs team? Where would Rudy really have gone? Rudy at Rutgers. That's Rutgers in my brain.
Okay.
I don't think that's accurate, but that's Rutgers in my brain. Ethan's going to be like, Rutgers churned out 6 popes, Tyler.
I know nothing about Rutgers.
Manti Te'o's girlfriend went to Rutgers, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, she also went to Northwestern. No, I heard a person refer to it one time as slutgers, and that's really all I know about it.
I wouldn't think that. I would think Rutgers is full of like girls you want to take home to mom.
I would think Rutgers is like not quite Stanford, but like in that direction.
Sure.
Yeah, like Stanford's not quite an Ivy League school, and Rutgers is not quite Stanford. It's in New Jersey.
Rutgers.
I know it's in New Jersey.
I wouldn't have guessed that. I was trying to picture where I thought Rutgers was, and I was like, Indiana feels good. He said something about California. That feels good. New Jersey would not have been on my list.
It's in New Jersey. They're the Scarlet Knights.
I wouldn't have guessed that either.
Anyway.
I would think of Rutgers as a kind of like Virginia Tech, in that it's like you go to get a blue collar degree.
I don't think so. I have no idea though. New Jerseyans,
I also don't think that's true about Virginia Tech. I just think that's kind of the
New Jerseyans
reputation they
might
have.
disagree with me. I have no idea. Anyway, so finishes the VHSL season with 1,200 points, which
Good
beats
Lord.
Allen Iverson by 300.
Good God.
This is the answer we're talking about, right? One of the undisputed greatest basketball players to ever play the game. And this man,
Allen Iverson?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a name I knew, and I didn't like basketball.
Decommits from Rutgers, goes to Georgetown. Kind of comes in off the bench his freshman year, makes the Big East like all freshman team, averages 13 points a game. Nothing particularly special, right?
Can you imagine going from averaging like 45 points a game to 13 points a game?
13 points a game, not getting every single minute.
Right. How much does that affect your psyche? I think about this with football players all the time. I feel for Trevor Lawrence so much to go from like never losing a game in his entire life
to playing on the Jags
and like it being so hard.
I mean, that's the reality awaiting basically everybody that ever comes out of Alabama is like
not running backs. Running backs out of Alabama, they're real.
Yeah, but they lose a game.
What's up? I'm Derrick
That's what
Henry.
I'm saying. Like Derrick Henry went to
the
Jags.
team lost, but I didn't. I didn't lose.
Derrick Henry, not to the Jags. Derrick Henry went to the Titans and lost his first game ever.
He didn't lose anything. Derrick Henry wins every game he plays in.
I'll tell you what. I know that Ezekiel Elliott just left Dallas. I still think about the time that I got to see Ohio State come play at Virginia Tech when Zeke was on the team.
And just light us up.
That dude was on a different level.
Virginia Tech's not that good.
They were okay. They were winning at halftime.
I think Virginia Tech could beat Rutgers. I don't know anything
football,
about Rutgers.
Definitely.
Yeah. Sure.
Definitely.
Why not?
I think Rutgers plays 1AA or FCS.
Sure. Good.
I still can't remember to call it FCS. It has been like 20 years.
We can't beat JMU. We can't beat ODU. We can beat Rutgers.
Decommits from Rutgers, goes to Georgetown, averages 13 points a game his freshman year. Does a little bit better, averages 15 points a game his sophomore year, doesn't play about a third of the games with a foot injury, right? Mm-hmm. This motherfucker decides, I am going to declare for the NBA draft.
Good for him.
And then COVID-19 happens. Tournament canceled. Everything gone. And this man's like, I am not going to declare for the NBA draft.
I am going to play college basketball.
I want to go somewhere where I am going to play basketball, like more.
Does he go to Rutgers?
No, he goes to Texas Tech.
Oh, they're good.
They were good, yeah. Did better. Averaged, I think, like in the 19 and 20, something like that. Declares again for the NBA draft 2021, right? I'm not painting a great picture of this guy. He just kind of like doesn't produce the I beat Allen Iverson to his high school record kind of performance that you'd expect over his 3 years in college. Forgoes his last year of eligibility. Declares for the NBA draft. Goes undrafted in the NBA draft. What?
Where does he end up?
So goes undrafted in the NBA 2021 NBA draft. Signed with the Los Angeles Lakers for the Summer League, August 2021. Waived in October and then picked up later in October by the South Bay Lakers which are the G League team.
Yeah. G League, if you're not a basketball fan, is the like minor league.
Yeah, it's like AAA baseball.
Well, if you're not a baseball fan, it's like there's two leagues. Okay, there's a good league and an almost good league.
If you're like a golf fan, it's like the Corn Ferry Tour.
I don't think we're gonna get them as golf fans.
If
they're here,
if you're
I
a
think our best bet is
NASCAR
like
fan,
English football.
if you're a NASCAR fan, I think it's the Monster Energy Series.
It's the Bush League.
It's no longer the Bush League.
I wouldn't be surprised if Bush came back.
Like to NASCAR?
Yeah.
I'm not sure they're allowed.
I do think drinking and driving is probably unsafe. Drinking and driving at 220 miles per hour
It's definitely unsafe.
I would say is definitely unsafe.
Anyway, does really good in his debut for the South Bay Lakers. Gets 24 points and they cut him.
No.
Picked up again on a 10-day contract by the Chicago Bulls in December that year. Wrote out that 10-day contract, wrote out another 10-day contract, and then they sent him down to the G Leagues again to play for the Windy City Bulls, which are, I think, also in Chicago.
I guess, yeah.
Which is wild. Scored 19 points in his debut there. They cut him again
19 points isn't enough in the NBA.
in the G League,
Or-
apparently.
I mean, think about this. If you're supposed to be an NBA talent and you go to the G League and you put up essentially college numbers, you're not good enough.
January 22nd, picked up by the South Bay Lakers again. But like directly by the South Bay Lakers, not by the LA Lakers.
Okay.
So they hold
just
him.
like called him up.
They hold him for the rest of the season, and then he goes back to the Lakers, the main Lakers, for the Summer League, plays in the Summer League, cut again. Signed to a 10-day contract with the Philadelphia 76ers, and then signs on to play the full season, finally gets a deal, signs on to play the full season, the 2022-2023 season for the Delaware Bluecoats, which are the affiliate for the Philadelphia 76ers, okay? Mm-hmm. Now remember, this guy is a dunk expert, right? This is how he made his name. He can jump with his own 2 feet and put the ball directly in the hoop, right? Mm-hmm. NBA says it doesn't matter that you suck at scoring points, right? It doesn't matter that you are not like a top tier prospect. We are going to invite a G League player to play in the All-Star Game dunk contest.
He wins, right?
The first G League player to ever play, to ever be selected for the NBA All-Star weekend of any kind, the first G Leaguer to ever play in the dunk contest. Not only does he win, Tyler, he gets a perfect score.
No way.
You got just look at this real quick. Google it.
Look at what?
Google it.
Do I get to see his dunks?
Yeah. Like look up the video.
YouTube. What's his name? Mac McClung?
Mac McClung, McClung. So they're like, yeah, okay, we'll invite this G Leaguer. Like, it'll be great for, show off the G League. Like, the kid can dunk, we'll get a couple cool dunks out of him. And then, Giannis will win or whatever. I don't know. They always get random people for the dunk contest and not, like, who you'd actually want. Especially these days. The dunk contest is failing as an institution, and that is why they wanted to get the G League involved, right?
Here's what I think is G Leaguers, especially in a 3-point league, dunk is not as valuable, right? It just didn't. You got to get in the paint. You got big guys like Giannis. You've got Doncic, who's like, I'm just going to foul you no matter what. I don't care. I don't care about anything. I'll kick the ball. You've got these huge dudes.
You really hate Luka Doncic.
I hate Luka Doncic. He's just an idiot. I hate him. I like immediately, as a fan of the league, I was like, this dude sucks.
He can shoot the ball, though.
But imagine Mac McClung at 6'2". Yeah, he can do this thing where he can dunk. Zion Williamson's not going to let him do that.
Nope. But the G League is like, we're going to invite this dude. Did you watch the video?
I'm watching his dunks right now. I'm watching the one where he's got the guy on his shoulders.
Yeah.
These are crazy dunks.
Yeah.
But think about this dude belongs in the Globetrotters.
Yeah, absolutely.
I bet those dudes can absolutely win the dunk contest.
Yeah.
Buckets Brown.
Yeah. This is the thing we don't give the Globetrotters enough credit for. Those guys are great at basketball.
They're so good.
So good at basketball. But yeah, Mac McClung is like the charity case of the dunk contest. Goes in and wins.
He's a little guy.
He's a little guy, yeah. And the Philadelphia 76ers are like, yeah, fine. Absolutely. You can come play on the team with us once when your G League season ends. Hell yeah, dude.
So does he get to go?
Yeah.
Did he sign a contract?
Yeah. Season finale with the Philadelphia 76ers. Puts up 20 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists.
Was Giannis playing? Not Giannis? Giannis?
Giannis playing what?
No, Joel Embiid. Is Joel Embiid playing?
Probably.
And James Harden.
I don't know. I would imagine.
Those are the guys.
I would
That's the
imagine.
dynamic duo.
I don't have the box score for that game in front of me.
20 points. Now we're talking.
He gets one rebound and 1 assist away from an NBA triple double.
You know,
Because
who led the league in
realistically, he'll
assists
probably never
this
play
season?
in the NBA again.
I thought they gave him a season.
No.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
No,
They
no,
gave him
no.
like a game after
They
the G
gave him
League
like
season was over.
I think I don't know when.
Do you think they were like, if you get the triple double, or even if you get a double double, we'll let you in?
Okay, so he wins the G League with the Bluecoats April 7th. April 9th, the 76ers have their last game of regular season. So
Here's my thing about the triple double and the double double. For the listener who might not know, a double double and a triple double is there's like 5 categories that you can score in.
yeah, I mean, yes.
I think it's 5.
I don't know if
But
there's
anyway,
only 5,
it
but
is,
yeah.
it is double digit points in key stats in basketball.
Yeah.
So a triple double means that you got 10 or more points in like rebounds, assists, and points scored.
Yeah. Points scored,
and a
rebounds,
double-double would-
assists, blocks, steals. You're right. 5. Yeah.
Yeah. And a double double is the same thing, but you just get 2 of them. I didn't know that until like a week ago, and I've known about sports my whole life. So
There was one time where Russell Westbrook got like 48 triple doubles in a row. Like,
that's crazy.
yeah, it was nuts. And still
I was
doesn't
reading a
have a ring,
stat-
I believe.
I was reading a stat earlier about our girl Aaliyah Boston of the Indiana Fever. I think she got like 48 double doubles at the Gamecocks.
Good God.
Yeah, they play a 39-game season. I mean, it was 4 years, but 3 years, I guess.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook does not have a ring.
A lot of those superstars don't.
I know.
John Wall doesn't have a ring.
Who?
Who was the dude? John Wall. Who was the dude?
John Wall's not a superstar.
He was a superstar.
No, he wasn't.
Go watch John Wall high school highlights.
I mean, yeah, he was a superstar in high school.
and in college,
Yeah. And then he was okay in the NBA.
and then he was okay.
That does not make you a superstar. That makes
Trae
you.
Young don't have a
He's
ring
not even
yet.
as good as JJ Redick.
JJ's the dude. I don't think JJ has a ring though, does he?
That's a crime.
He went to the playoffs.
Yeah.
He went to the playoffs every year except for his last year. I think it was with Zion and didn't make it.
Yeah, does not have a championship.
It's hard, dude. There's only so many dudes on a team.
Yeah.
That's a select few. Like if you're an NFL player who has a ring, Jimmy Garoppolo's got 2, and he's tied for the most in the league right now.
I mean, he doesn't though. Like,
But he does. Like when they pull up the stat sheet, it's like Patrick Mahomes, Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know who else has a
but
ring
like if
right
you're
now.
on the basketball team, you earned
Aaron
the
Rodgers.
ring. Like,
Right.
there-
You
because
played
there's
minutes.
15 dudes on a basketball team, max.
Yeah, they all
Max.
play every time.
Yeah.
Because there's endless subs. It's not like soccer where you only get 3 subs a
Yeah,
game.
right. Like if Jimmy Garoppolo did not do a thing to earn his rings.
He may have held.
I don't
up
think he
like
played
a place
I don't think he properly played like a minute in either of those seasons.
I do. I'm sure he played a minute. I think one of the seasons he played the first 5 games or something, didn't he?
One of the years he won?
I thought so. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
wasn't that the Deflategate year?
Did they
And
win that
was
year?
Why? Yeah, that was why everybody was like, "Oh, we want Jimmy G on the Niners because he's good."
I don't know they won that year. Anyway, whatever. He
I
did
don't
not
know.
do
This is a long
anything
time.
to earn those rings.
No, yeah, for sure.
I mean, he did less than Trent Dilfer, who was actually the starting quarterback of the team he was on.
Less than Carson Wentz.
Yeah, a lot less than Carson Wentz.
Well, Carson didn't start that game,
No, but
he won like the first
Yeah.
12. Carson Wentz, what an idiot.
although he did better in that game than Matt Ryan did.
Yes, Matt Ryan. Did you know Matt Ryan was drafted like 6 years or 7 years after Michael Vick? That stresses me out.
Yeah, he's always older than I think he is.
Like those are 2 events that happened far
Different-
too close
different
together
time
for
periods.
me. Oh yeah. Those are 2 different eras in my life, and I'm in a complete 3 eras removed from that.
So anyway, that's my story about Virginia's greatest greatest basketball player of all time. Mac
I
McClung.
think Virginia's greatest basketball player of all time. Virginia high school, sure, you can go with Mac McClung, but it's got to be JJ or Allen.
I mean, it's Allen Iverson. Like,
Yeah.
I think JJ will tell you it's Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson will not tell you it's JJ.
He'd be like, "Oh man, who else is from the state?"
Virginia's,
all I got for
Virginia's
podcasts.
greatest football player of all time.
Rondé Barber. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Is he really?
Oh, Michael Vick.
I was gonna say Cam Chancellor.
Michael Vick. Yeah, Rondé Barber was inducted this year. Michael Vick. Michael Vick is
Michael
I
Vick
think
will
he's
not be in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely not. But but he is definitely in the conversation for
But
good.
neither will
And
Barry Bonds. So
And anybody who disagrees, you can say what you want about what Michael Vick did off the field. What he did on the field was something special.
he didn't
He
win
was
a
a
ring,
cheat
though.
code. He was a cheat code.
didn't win a ring,
man.
though.
He they had to like break the sliders in Madden for Michael Vick.
Percy Harvin
Didn't
win
win
a
a
ring.
ring. Ronnie Barber didn't win a ring.
I know.
Tiki
Cam
did.
Chancellor did.
Tiki Barber did. Tiki and Eli, right?
I have no idea if Tiki Barber was still on that team.
That would have been late.
Percy Harvin has a ring.
Mike Vick does not have a ring. Logan Thomas does not have a ring.
Yeah, it's not going to be Logan Thomas.
He's gonna have a ring after this year. I'll tell you that much.
I don't know where's Bruce from?
Who?
Bruce Smith.
Who's Bruce Smith?
Bruce for the Bills?
I don't know.
Play
who that
Virginia
is.
Tech.
Oh.
Actually, by rings, I forgot about this guy. By rings, it's Chris Long.
The defensive player from UVA,
Yeah, he was,
or the
yeah,
lineman or whatever he is.
yeah, defensive lineman.
Yeah. That dude was nuts. I've seen him play
2 Super Bowl
in
rings.
college. There's a quarterback for the DC Defenders right now who went to JMU.
It's probably not that guy.
They're undefeated.
Okay, it's still probably not that
So-
guy.
Probably not that guy.
Probably not
But-
that guy.
But he is very good at football. He's way
Russell
better
Wilson's
than
from
me.
Virginia.
Russell Wilson is from Virginia. Yeah, but he's kind of killed his legacy.
Correct. Yeah.
But he does have rings. I still think it's Rondé Barber.
think he
He's
just
in
has
the Hall of
ring.
Fame. Just one?
Seahawks only won that one.
Oh yeah, because then they threw the pick.
Yeah, because him and Cam Chancellor and Percy Harvin all have the one ring.
Yeah.
Not the same one. They don't share a ring between the 3 of them. It's like, hey, VA boys.
Let me get that ring this weekend.
Tyrod
all
Taylor
right,
is
that's-
not a ring, but yeah.
Tyrod's not from Virginia, is he?
Yeah, he is. He's from Hampton.
Oh, good for
Went to
him.
Hampton High.
That's all I got for
That's
the podcast.
all I got, too.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out with Ethan and I as we oogle about basketball.
Yeah, we'll be back next week, maybe, or the week after that, talking about something else. Probably not basketball.
But maybe basketball.
Probably not basketball.
Probably not basketball, but it could be basketball.
It could be, but we did basketball this week.
So we'll probably do something else next
Probably
week.
do something else this week or that week.
All
Anyway,
right,
bye.
bye.